This is the Amp Hour Podcast, recorded December 12th, 2011. Episode 73, Horrisonous Holiday Habromania.
Welcome to the Amp Hour. I'm Dave Jones from the EEV blog.
And I'm Chris Gamble of Chris Gamble's Analog Life.
And this is Jeff Kaiser from MightyOhm.com.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm back.
Merry Christmas.
Back from the future. Welcome, Jeff.
I'm the
Hey,
ghost.
Jeff.
I'm the ghost of Christmas past. Woo!
We always love having you on, Jeff.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
It's great to be back. Hey guys.
Sounded good as ever with your recording setup, and
Yeah, I hope I've got it configured correctly, but yeah, it's
and
good to be back.
I don't have a shiver in my voice tonight because I am upstairs, not in the basement, not a basement troll tonight.
Awesome.
And Dave, you're heading off to your new lab for the next
My
show, maybe?
No, probably not.
No?
No,
All right.
no. It'll take me all Christmas break and everything to move into this place, I'm sure. Yeah. Anyway, what's the coincidence of that? You started your new job today.
Yeah, I
Huge
did.
news today for
I
both
did,
of us.
yeah,
And
yeah.
You started a new job literally today. Why
Yep.
Tuesday? Oh, no, it's Monday over there, isn't it? Oh,
There
sorry.
we go.
Oh. I thought that's a bit weird.
Yeah, that is a little
Start
weird.
Tuesday, all right. It's Monday, it's Tuesday here. And and I get the keys to my new office today.
Yeah.
Woohoo! The
And
new
Jeff,
Nerd
anything?
Cave lab.
You must have
Jeff,
something big there,
yeah.
Jeff, right?
No.
You had a DorkBot meeting
on.
tonight, right?
Yeah, I do have. I have a busy evening. I'm heading off to the DorkBot Austin chapter. They're having a meeting at a hackerspace in Austin that I've never been to tonight. So as soon as we get done recording, I'm going to jump in the car and drive over there as fast as I can and try to
Right.
catch the tail end of that meeting.
So now DorkBot is different than a hackerspace, though, right?
DorkBot is. Do they have DorkBot in Australia, Dave?
I think there's one. I think there might be one here in Sydney. Yeah, like a couple of people rock up or something. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's basically it's like a club. Their motto is people doing strange things with electricity, and it's like presentations, and the people will meet either a couple times a month or once a month. And talk about geek-related topics, and the San Francisco
Projects they're working on. And stuff like that,
projects
you
they're
know.
working on. The San Francisco chapter, if that you can call it that, was always really, really good, and I got hooked on that probably 3 or 4 years ago at least. And Austin has a small chapter also, and it's a lot of fun.
It sounds kind of like PechaKucha. Have you ever heard of that?
No,
What?
no,
Gesundheit.
is that
Yeah,
is
I
that
know.
English?
That's actually it's a Japanese word. It means like chatter, but it's basically the same kind of idea, but it's much more generalized. So that's for like artistic installations. I mean, there can be technology stuff too, and it's kind of like you get together once a month and you drink beer and you watch people present about.
That's exactly
stuff they're
what
working on.
DorkBot
Right.
is. That's exactly what
Okay.
DorkBot is. It's
I love
beer
it.
and presentations. It's
Yeah.
good.
That's a great idea.
The word chapter is something it's very American. We don't really have that here. Oh,
No?
there's the local chapter of the
Oh yeah.
maybe
it's a union
club
stuff,
or whatever.
right?
It's a
What do
very
you-
US term.
What do you call it?
I don't know if we have an equivalent.
Like section? Do you call it a section? Maybe
No section. No, we don't. No, I guess we're just not
group
as
of blokes,
social here.
a gaggle
I
of
don't know.
mates.
Okay. Oh boy, what's a collective term for nerds? Is there a collective?
Murder of nerds.
Murder of nerds.
Maybe we should make one up. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
Maybe we
know that
should.
there is
Maybe there
one.
should be an official. Yeah.
There's like some people call themselves hives. I think hackerspaces sometimes. There's Hive. Was it Hive 9, Jeff? There's one.
Isn't it like Hive 13 or 19? Hive 19?
Yeah, that might be it. I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
It's like Pittsburgh or something, isn't it? Somewhere on the East
Yeah.
Coast.
Huh.
I don't know. We should coin a term, though.
We should. We'll
Yep.
have to work on it. People can leave that in the comment section. How about that? What would you, if you were coming upon a group of nerds, what would you refer to them as? Would it be a gaggle or a murder or a blotch? I don't know. Like a blotch of nerds?
I think this is quite a recent phenomenon, perhaps, because nerds are almost by definition unsocial.
Yeah, that's true.
Antisocial.
That's true. Yeah.
Unsocial,
that's an excellent point.
Antisocial.
Times are changing, Dave. Times are changing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
how about a grumbling?
strange.
I like that word. A grumbling of nerds. Oh, boy.
Where'd you pull that one out from?
I don't know.
No, it's got to have some technical feel to it. We're not grumpy. Well, I guess we are.
Yeah, right.
I made my career out of grumpy.
Yeah, right. Oh, man. Speaking of grumpy, we found a Dilbert strip to commemorate my first day of work. There's an entire section. You can actually, there's like a hash you can do on search.dilbert.com for first day. And there's a couple great ones in here just about...
Well, you can search for any term. You can search for office politics, or you can search... Well, the entire Dilbert cartoon's about office politics, but...
Yeah.
But you can search for specific... hey, search for engineer.
Okay,
engineering.
It's a whole site.
I know. Well, Dilbert is an engineer from MIT.
Right?
That's that's the whole thing. But, you can search for specific
like
sketches
Ratbird or
on
Dogbird,
terms.
Yeah, characters
or specific themes.
ASOC, right? That's one of the characters, too.
Yeah, ASOC, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a great one, though, about social media and about not blogging about the first day. That's an important thing not to do.
Yep.
So
we'll actually post that, and that one's rated 4.5 stars or 4.25 stars out of 5.
Yeah, it's great.
Each cartoon's rated.
I actually didn't realize that Dilbert strips were still being made. So, I mean, this one's from about a year ago, but it's very, timely with the Twitter and the Twitters.
Yep.
The Twitters, yes.
The Twitterverse.
I didn't realize that Dilbert is still around.
I was actually going to tweet this the other day, coincidentally, is that I getting bombarded so often with Dilbert because I get my, email each time a new Dilbert strip comes out. And I've got this backlog. I all of a sudden end up with a backlog of like 5 of them. Oh, God, I've got too many Dilbert things to read in my inbox.
It takes so long to get through, right?
Damn you, stop producing Dilbert as quickly. I can't keep up. It takes 10 seconds to read each one, but I don't know, for some reason I just let them accumulate in my inbox. And
I have the same problem with like IEEE Spectrums and all the like Nuts and Bolts and all those magazines I'm on. Like, I feel like I must read them, and so I just tried to clean out. Like, I tend to read them before I go to bed, so there's always a pile of magazines on my nightstand. And last night I read the IEEE Spectrum from March.
Right.
So this is how far back this pile goes.
It's a backlog.
It's pretty bad. I've been busy. I haven't had time to read things, and according to Jack Gansel, I'm like not doing the right thing by not keeping up on the industry. But
no, well, see, I don't. I'm supposed to be all of us are leading industry bloggers, are we not?
I don't know about that one, buddy.
Luminaries. I would prefer to call us luminaries.
Luminaries. That's a wank word.
I'd like to call myself a looniary.
Looniary. Okay.
Yeah,
that sounds better. That's me.
Yeah. Yes, we are looniaries. I don't know, because I get all my articles through like social media these days. If someone shares an article, a lot of times it comes from Spectrum or it comes from E-Times or something like that. But I don't have time to actually sit down and even with a Nook or something like that. I always thought, that'll help me read in bed or something like that. But I want to read a novel at that point or something else. So
yeah, exactly.
It is tough.
And so the headline has to catch my eye. If something in the headline doesn't catch my eye, delete. I'm not going to go through and read all of today's new stories. I just nah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Dave. I agree. I do the same thing.
Yeah. I am headline selective. Sorry, people, but it's important. Headlines are important.
Yep.
Engineers can't waste time. We've got too many things to do. We've got the world to save. We've got, Do you know that it takes, who does Dilbert? Scott Adams. It takes him like half a day to draw each Dilbert.
Oh, wow.
It takes him, there's this online, we've mentioned this before, there's a cartoon, I think we posted it. The video of him doing it. And it takes him 4 or 6 hours to do each one.
Yep.
And, I don't know how he keeps producing. He must have a huge backlog. He must sit there and go, right, I'm going to do 3 or 4 today.
Yeah.
And then, have a backlog, because you couldn't do one every day. If you had to produce one every day and only do it on that day, then, I should start doing that with
takes a lot of
videos. I should backlog them, so that I've got some time off.
I think that's what
discipline.
bloggers do. I mean, that's what big bloggers do. I think they write things ahead, right? And then you schedule them. And I've done that.
I can't do that. I can't hoard. If I've got something new, I've got to release it. I got to.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah, I know that I should because it's more efficient. Because you're in the mode. You're in the zone, and you can work more efficiently. So you produce 3 or 4, and then release them slowly, and then you can take a week off, and nobody will notice. Because you can schedule these things now. You can schedule your YouTube videos when they're going to release with WordPress. You can schedule the day day and time it's going to be released.
Yeah, except that apparently it doesn't work all the time because I saw Alan complaining about that.
YouTube doesn't work at all. YouTube's never worked. It's hopeless.
Yeah, that's a sham.
It's shit.
And sometimes even when you do...
Their new layout is shit. Have you seen... If anyone's got a YouTube channel, you know what I'm talking about. Their new layout is garbage. It's a wonder they even test. They obviously don't even test this thing. They've got the work experience kiddies working on it again. It's ridiculous.
I'm kind of on I've just turned off design because after Google changed Reader and Calendar and all those apps, it's like you can't win. It's just every iteration it gets worse, I feel like. So I'm trying not to care about it. But I was pretty upset whenever they changed Reader because the changes were pretty drastic.
I've never used Google Reader.
Yeah, that's how I get all my not all my articles, but a significant amount these days. So, and we encourage people to get their AMP hour feed through there, of course.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. You guys are talking about taking a week off there. I took a week off, and I had this big backlog of things to do, and
how many got done?
I'd say I had about a 30%. Completion rate. I had a
May
very
I say
long...
I told you so?
Wow.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Told you so.
Yeah, yes, you did. You did. I had such grand plans, but
my young pedo and learner.
I know. Hey, I moved a computer upstairs. I'm warm now. That's all that matters, right? Oh yeah. Oh well, I did get to build some circuits, so I got to build some of the circuits Alan's building. I was playing with those and some other stuff. So I got a beagle bone rather. Did I tell you guys about that?
Cool.
No, I don't have a beagle bone.
I got a beagle bone.
How did you score a beagle
thing
bone?
Is slick. Certain people are very awesome. Their names might rhyme with Schmation Beidner. Bridener. So thank you, Jason. Yeah, but this thing is sweet. I have, I've gotten it turned on. I've gotten the interface up, and it was Sunday, I got a Friday night, and I got to play with it, and then I realized I had to install Linux and everything. You have to develop from a Linux, or you have to install it from a Linux system. So I went back through that
so
whole
it
thing.
only works with Linux.
It doesn't only work with Linux, like all the drivers and everything will work, but the development is mainly meant for Linux right now.
Don't bother sending me one then, because I don't even have a Linux machine,
Well, I ended up doing with VirtualBox, so you can actually do, you can install Linux on a virtual machine, and that's actually what
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, it's great. This is definitely the way to do it for me.
I know the other way around. People always run their Linux box, and then they run a virtual machine for Windows apps.
Yeah, I used to do that too.
I didn't know the other way around.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's all too complicated. I just couldn't be bothered.
Yeah, but this kit, the kit's pretty slick itself. I mean, I love it. Jason and Gerald and that whole team, they include the Altoids tin. We talked about that on the show before about the how it fits in one. Not only does it fit with one, it comes with one.
I didn't know that. I wasn't aware it fitted in one.
Wow, that's really small.
And what is this obsession with the Altoids tin? I had never heard of it before. Once again, it's an American thing. I don't even know if you can buy them here. What are Altoids? What is in the tin?
They're breath mints.
Are they mints or something?
They're mints. Yeah.
They're breath
they're
mints.
mints. Right.
They're like
They're
not very
curiously
sweet.
strong.
Oh, come on, Jeff. Don't give them free advertising.
Yeah, I just didn't get the obsession with these out. Are they so dirt cheap that they're?
No, they're not. It's just it's a quick and easy project box. Basically,
yeah.
That's why people like them.
How many things like little cheap items come in convenient little solderable tin metal enclosures? I think that's why they're so popular.
You're right. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But isn't metal kind of annoying because then you can't just lay the circuit board?
I was thinking about that. You would short the hell out of the bottom of this.
It's great for shielding stuff.
It's true.
But,
it is good for shielding, and so a lot of the ham radio guys build stuff in Altoids tins.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah,
But otherwise,
maybe
you may as well
batteries
use a
and-
Tic Tac box or something. I've built stuff in Tic Tac boxes before.
like what? Like transmitters or what? Like what kind of
Yeah,
stuff?
you can build like little power converter stuff and all sorts of FM bugs were in Tic Tac
Yeah,
boxes and all sorts of stuff.
that's a cool idea. I
Yeah.
like that for like waterproofing
Yeah.
or something, right?
Yeah, because you can actually pot them. So you can actually put your circuitry in there and pot them. I've actually done that. I've used it as I've used it as a box to pot stuff in. You know, so yeah,
All right.
yeah, I don't mind them. And I've built stuff into cassette cases. For all you young whippersnappers out there won't know what a cassette tape is.
I even know what that is. My favorite was my Huey Lewis and the News tape.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, I really had great choice of music when I was a kid.
Was it sports or?
No, I think it was Best of.
Oh, okay. Have you ever seen American Psycho?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I believe that's his best album. Yeah, that's a freaky movie.
You know, Dave, I think the Altoids tin is probably the most recognizable small metal box that a everyday person would run into, you know, as part of like a throwaway thing you find at the grocery store. There aren't that many things that come in metal boxes anymore. So Altoids is one of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, fair call. If anyone knows if they're available in Australia, are they? I have no idea. I've never looked.
Yeah, I guess if you don't know what the case looks or the actual just product looks like.
I know exactly what it looks like. I can't say I've ever seen one. So.
Oh, really? Like in the checkout line at like a grocery store?
Yeah,
or something?
no, I've never seen them in the checkout line. That I
Interesting.
can recall anyway. So.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting these third party now. I mean, I know Adafruit gets theirs third party now, and I think the BeagleBone team BeagleBoard team got them third party as well because there's no markings on them. But yeah, they're still iconic, I suppose. So, and people like it. I mean, I saw a lot of people. So this is supposed to be our quasi Christmas episode, right? I've seen I don't know if people saw the.
I've got to say, I think they're a bit kludgy, though. Like, you know, like putting a commercial product in there is a bit tacky.
It's a gimmick, yeah.
It's totally a gimmick.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's just not elegant. I don't like it.
So you'd rather have like a big, was it Hammond? Like a big Hammond
That's it.
box?
It's got to be a big die-cast Hammond.
Yeah, exactly. If I drop it on
box.
my toe and I don't say, ow, it's not good enough.
My latest power supply is in a nice little Hammond box. It is. Yeah. It's beautiful. No, I just love purpose design project boxes and then fitting your design around that. You know, they've got the PCB mounts in there, and they've got the front, you know, the mounts for the front panels and the back panels, and it's just nice. Shoving something in our Altoids tin, it's just a hack.
But I think it's a hack, but it probably cost them 50 cents. So it's a nice little, you know, it's cute. It's people understand what it is.
I can buy a Jiffy box in Australia for $1, right? A proper project Jiffy box made in Australia for just over $1. So, you know, I mean, it's crazy, and it's got the PCB guides in there and everything. It's got the lid on it, and comes with the screws and everything for $1 or $2. You know, I mean, it's probably cheaper than what an Altoids tin would cost with the mints in it.
I don't think I don't think that there are engineers at TI that are frantically eating all the mints in the Altoids boxes.
Those TI guys, they have wonderful breath.
I have a feeling.
I'm just saying it's good for a one-off and something like that. But I can't believe that. You know, Adafruit. You know, how many tens of thousands of those Minty Boost things have they sold? You know, and it's still in the Altoids box. You know, I just don't get it really. I thought it's great. Okay, you've done the little hack. It's nice. It works. You know, you might sell a few of them, and then you redesign it in a nice little.
Nah,
box,
you're missing the main point of it, Dave.
Nah,
it's not about looking nice. It's about a fast solution that looks kind of cool and offbeat. I think.
No, I'm an engineer. I like things to be optimal. You know.
I like things to work.
I think it appeals to a certain segment of the market. Like, people like things to be a little bit hacky. I think kits and stuff, and Altoids tin is something that people identify with.
Yeah.
Yep. Fair enough.
Well,
anyway, my latest power supply is not going to be a hack. It's going to be nicely designed into this little Hammond case. Sorry. people out there who are disappointed because I didn't
Getting a power
build it
supply
into a
into
Vegemite jar or something.
Now that would be iconic, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Was
I'll
this
do a
made in
power
Australia?
supply in a
I can't
Vegemite jar. It comes with a screw-on lid, and you can put the
Yeah.
4mm banana plugs on the
It
top. and-
smells like ass.
oh boy!
But yeah,
love
what I was saying earlier is that I saw the Beagle Bone. A lot of people were actually asking for that for the DigiWish. Have you guys seen that on like Twitter and Facebook and everything? DigiKey's doing a thing where people can be like, oh, I want this thing, and then eventually they'll pick someone. So I saw a lot of people asking for the Beagle Bone.
Oh, right, and they'll pick someone at random and give them that product.
Which is smart on their part in terms of advertising. But I've seen a lot of
yeah.
It was $100. I actually found on DigiKey. I forget what I was looking for, but I found that they sold CD. They sell classical CDs on DigiKey.
What?
Yeah,
I saw that. Yeah,
You
that
did?
is pretty weird.
it was really weird.
I don't know
I
what
forget
it
what I
is.
was searching for. I was searching for something a little off, anyways, and then I saw like CDs and media and books, and I thought they would have like textbooks or
Yeah.
even like art of electronics or something like that. But nope, they had like Mozart and
that's
Liszt,
pathetic,
and
really.
it was weird.
I can understand if they're getting into the the farting toy business or something like that. They want to sell it. Farnells do that. Element 14, they've done that
What?
for a long time. You could buy your little remote, your farting novelty toy, or your remote control
weird.
tank or whatever.
That is
Really?
weird.
Yeah.
Huh.
I'm gonna try and find this on there now.
Search for farting novelty toy on DigiKey and see if you can. Probably not. That's more of a JCar thing, but
Well, they sell kind of like kind of junky little toys like that on.
yeah, junkie. Because engineers, when they're doing the purchase order, you'd always throw on a couple of these toys on there, and you'd rename them, of course. A farting novelty toy is like a
Sound-inducing.
piezo ceramic generator or something.
Yeah.
So there's an art form to
Getting your expense
Working
reports
those,
approved. Yeah.
Oh boy.
I have a feeling that these CDs were probably like a thing to test their shopping cart or something, and they never took them out.
You think?
I don't
Maybe.
know. Do you think they're really selling classical music CDs? You should order one and see what happens.
Can I see if anyone can beat this for a bizarre item put onto an expense report?
Hit us.
Feminine hygiene products.
What?
Yep. For a real engineering purpose.
For an electronics person or
Yep.
for something? Okay.
No,
Because one of
this
my
is- I
buddies
put
used to
in an
work at
expense
P&G.
report.
I mean, like he worked on feminine products in like a production environment, so
Huh.
Okay.
that would make more
There you
sense. But
In one of my engineering jobs, one of my underwater military jobs, I put in an
underwater,
expense
there we
report
go.
for feminine hygiene products.
was it a water absorption mechanism?
No, it was actually a shock absorption mechanism.
Shock absorption. That's,
Oh, wow.
Yes, yeah.
that's clever.
Yeah, I was experimenting with various materials, and yep, they're crap, by the way.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Just wanted to say that.
You,
And
also buy
the,
you should have bought Silly Putty too and been like, oh, it's well, it has many uses, but
their vibration response is just awful. It's just horrible. Yeah, their impulse shock responses. Yeah. No, don't buy them, folks.
I cannot beat that. I the best I've got is like funky food that I've tried.
Right. Okay. And you would think that cotton wool would be good, right? Cotton wool is shit, let me tell you, as a vibration impact.
So this is like inside a project box or what?
Even for low mass stuff. Sorry,
Are you talking about like inside a project box for like absorbing shock of like a?
yeah, actually shock absorbing a product inside a box. Yep.
So what you end up
everyone
using?
thinks, cotton wool, it's nice and fluffy and light, and it's just crap.
It just gives too much, right?
Yeah, it just doesn't have the correct response you need for shock absorption.
So what was the best?
Well, the best is surprise, surprise. Some of the shock, the sorbethane type materials, the engineering materials, actually
Weird.
scientifically designed for shock absorption. Go figure. You know.
Wow.
Yeah. Funny that. Yeah. He just thought we'd be smart and be able to find something better. And just regular anti-static foam is pretty darn good too. That's almost as good as the proper sorbethane engineering materials. But it depends on the mass and depends on the,
So that's like the stuff that it might stick like an SOIC or like a dip package into to ship with, you mean?
No, just regular packaging. Your product, your oscilloscope comes shipped in, the foam. Those foam
okay. So not the
things.
black.
And
You said, do you say anti-static or no?
Oh, no, yes, I said anti-static. The black is the conductive stuff. Don't confuse conductive with static dissipative, which is the pink stuff. Talking about like the pink foam that
What is the difference between the black stuff and the pink stuff? I've never understood this.
The black stuff is actually conductive. It contains carbon and other conductive materials in there. So if you stick your multimeter on there, it will actually be a fairly low resistance, a couple of 100K or something like that.
Huh.
Whereas the pink anti-static stuff is a static. It will not build up a charge. Its surface is treated with a chemical, so it will not build up a charge.
So why would you use?
It is not conductive.
Why would you use one versus the other?
Because when you package in products, you don't want static build-up inside your box. So if you've got a conductive box, for example, like you can get conductive boxes, and they've got the
like
black,
a metal Hammond box.
They've got a metal layer or a carbon layer inside, right? Mm-hmm. Anything that goes in there must be an anti-static material, so it doesn't build up a charge. So you've got to use your pink foam, you've got to use your pink anti-static bags, you've got to, use those sort of things, because their material, they will not build up a charge on their surface. That's the whole point. So you can shuffle them around your desk and they won't actually build up a charge.
Oh, so the black
and
stuff...
when they're moving around inside the box itself, during shipping, they won't, all of the vibration won't build up a charge on the surface.
The black stuff is conductive, but it can still build up a charge.
Well, it's conductive, so
it'll just pass right through, right?
It's conductive.
Yeah, so it won't act as a dielectric; it'll act as a conductor.
Yes, it'll act as a conductor.
Right, because the idea is if you had a metal top and bottom, right, and then you had a really like staticky piece of foam in the middle, then you basically are building a capacitor. That's the idea, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And I've done a video on this way back, busting the anti-static myth that the pink, you put your components in those pink anti-static bags. It doesn't protect them one little bit. Doesn't protect them one bit. And ICs that are inside those clear tubes, they're those anti-static tubes, they've got anti-static written on them. They aren't protected at all.
Those are just expensive.
You can zap those chips right through the tube, and you can zap your components right through those pink bags. You've got to use a conductive shielding bag.
Yeah, metal in bag.
Actually protect anything.
Metal in. Yep.
So, there you go.
Okay.
Because at a proper ESD-approved station, if you want to take ESD seriously, then you are not allowed to have any materials on that bench that can build up a charge. So your brush that you clean your circuit boards with must be a black conductive brush.
Right,
You can't just use a toothbrush.
Got it.
And all of the bags must be pink anti-static bags. And
my favorite
et cetera, et cetera.
is that every lab I've ever worked in has always had a big tube of anti-static hand lotion. I'm not kidding. There's always this pump dispenser of ESD hand lotion. I always thought that was hilarious. It's just weird. There's ESD everything. ESD tape dispenser, anything you can think of. Someone's made an ESD version that's 3 times more expensive. Right? There's this whole industry based on that.
But if you want to take it seriously, you have to take it seriously. You have to put all the protection mechanisms in place.
See, I feel like, I know that every time we talk about ESD, it starts getting people all upset. But I feel like they're building diodes into so many inputs these days, too, that it's so much less of an issue than it used to be. I know that it's still an issue.
They're very robust. They're a fully populated circuit board with modern components with their built-in protection is a very robust bit of kit.
Yeah.
I get hammered every time I do a teardown and I don't wear my ESD strap. I get all these, nut jobs emailing me, "Oh, you didn't wear your ESD protection." Bloody hell.
You're not my father.
Anyway. Oh, boy. How did we get onto ESD?
That's what happens whenever I'm on the show. I get on these little wild
get
tangents. Yeah.
Well, half of the show's gone already. Should we
I know.
actually get on to some real stuff?
Well, I wanted to hear what. So I don't know if you guys are still down with the whole the Christmas wish list idea, but
Right, yeah, that's right.
So what's on your wish list this year? Because the reason I wanted to do the show a little earlier is because if we say something really awesome that people might like, then they can go out and try and buy it before Christmas. So
Right.
What do you got?
I've got a pretty mundane. One thing my lab doesn't have is a spectrum analyzer.
Oh,
I don't have a,
seriously jealous here.
Yep.
I'm seriously jealous. Do you know which one you want?
The traditional HP one would be nice.
You
know,
on eBay for that? No new.
Yeah, they're quite. You're talking probably $1,500 to $2,000.
Oh, at least, yeah,
minimum.
Yeah, yeah. Depending on the frequency range, they can get very expensive.
Yeah, see, I don't need. A gig would be plenty.
Well, make sure you get like the fifth harmonic of anything you plan to measure.
Yep. So yeah, that's my lab has never had a spectrum analyzer. So I've had audio spectrum analyzers before. I've had quite a few expensive ones of those through my lab over the years, but never a wideband RF spectrum analyzer.
I've actually been.
So there you go. That's what I'd like from Santa.
Yeah, I've been shopping for those a little bit too, but not super seriously. I've always wanted one. I think to make a nice RF lab, you have to have a network analyzer and a spectrum analyzer. And
with
network
a
analyzers
tracking gen.
Yeah, if you want it to be really
output.
nice, yeah. I
can't believe you don't have one, Jeff.
Well,
you're like
I haven't done much RF work since I started contracting because it's hard to build a $500,000 RF lab on a contractor's budget. But I've definitely entertained doing contract work that would require me to get them, and I'm just waiting to have the justification because I would love to have some nice RF test equipment. Actually, I used to own a spectrum analyzer. It was a Tech 491. And it was from the 1950s or 1960s, and it actually used a vacuum tube for the microwave source. And
nice.
I got it for like $50 from somebody, some ham that I knew, and I used it for a couple years whenever I was big into microwave ham radio. And I opened it up once, and I swear half the weight of this thing was gold. Like everything inside it was gold, and I don't even know how much these were new.
And it'd be thick. Gold plated. No, it wouldn't be that cheap ass Chinese, it was one hung low
exactly.
plating.
Yeah, it was amazing. And I whenever I moved out of my apartment in San Diego, I sold it on eBay for $800.
Wow!
So
just for the gold?
No, for the working spectrum analyzer. But I
for
actually
sale, lump of gold.
Gold. But I have a feeling I actually want to move more into doing some RF product design. I'm getting back into ham radio, and I actually want to see if I can do some kits in that area. So I've been shopping around.
And you have some ham news, don't you, Jeff?
Oh, yeah. So I got a new call sign.
Woo!
Yeah, I've had a ham license for a long time, but I've always had this really bad call. It's KF6PBP, and the last three letters are impossible for people to remember, PPP or whatever. And so I applied for a new call sign about a month ago, and I finally got the grant for it last week. So now I'm W6
grant.
Yeah. You have to apply for a vanity call sign.
Vanity.
So it's like a vanity license plate. Do they have those in Australia?
Yep.
Can you get custom license plates?
Yes, we call them a custom. We don't call them vanity.
Yeah, so here
plates.
it's
we just
vanity,
call them a custom.
Vanity call sign.
Yeah.
So you have to apply, and it's a whopping.
Or we call them a wanker plate.
Yeah, so I've got a wanker call sign now.
Right. What is it?
It's W6 ohm. W6
Yeah.
OHM.
Sweet.
Yeah, it was available.
Sweet.
I don't know why, but I looked up. They have these lists you can look at for available call signs, and I got it. So
that's nice.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
if anyone sees me on the air,
I want VK2 EEV.
you should see if it's available.
Somebody suggested that.
You got to use your license first, Dave.
Just
like
again,
me.
I'd
Just
never
like
use
me.
it,
I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
It's just like the spectrum analyzer. I probably wouldn't use it much, but I just want one because my lab doesn't have one. I just
I feel
it's like
the
a
same
ham
way.
radio. I want one because I don't have one.
I've been getting way back into ham radio. I bought new to me. It's actually from the 1980s. I bought a radio, and I've been on some of the digital. There's these digital modes that are very efficient, so you can use really crappy antennas and basic stations like what I've got, and you can talk to people. I've been chatting with people from around the country and also in like South America too. I'm situated in a point where I can make good contacts into South America, so it's kind of fun. I'd like to be able to work Europe, but I don't have a good enough antenna at this point.
Well, I'm actually down in a gully here, so I would get shit reception. Yeah. Maybe I can, on the new office building, if I get up on the roof, maybe I can
pirate antenna.
Install a clandestine antenna, you know?
Yeah.
It's a good way to meet your neighbors, right? Oh, sorry, you dropped that antenna through your skylight. I'm in the basement. I need some way to communicate.
Yeah.
Oh boy!
But
so, if anyone from HP is listening, I would not say no to having a HP spectrum analyzer proudly, or Agilent.
Dave wants to do a product review for you.
No, I'll do a product review, and it will proudly sit on my bench in every video. Yep.
Yeah, not get used.
You can. Have you seen these ones on eBay? You know, these one hung low brand ones, and they're like $600, and they've got a tracking gen as well.
Run away.
You know, free delivery from China with tracking gen, a 1 gig spectrum analyzer.
And
they're you can get them. That's what they cost.
Yeah, they scare me a bit.
I don't know. And they've got CRTs. They've still got.
Yeah.
Is it so much cheaper to actually put a CRT in one of these things? I mean, these are a totally new design, and they come with schematics too. A couple of the people advertise that it comes with schematics.
Wow. Huh.
But I'm curious. Is it actually more cost effective to put in a CRT tube into a spectrum analyzer, or have a cheap ass LCD and some converters?
Yeah, I do find that really surprising.
We made it out of a water glass and a lot of mercury and
build it into a Vegemite jar.
And 10,000 volts.
Well, maybe you should try to get one of those cheap ones for a demo, like the Rigol. Maybe I would love to have the Rigol of spectrum analyzers and
the Rigol ones aren't cheap.
Yeah.
No, these are the A10 brand.
Right,
and,
A10,
and they're rebadged under 5 different.
You're right.
Brands, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because it's probably hard to get one for review, because these companies basically are just badge engineering companies, and they don't, they're not big, prestigious.
I don't know. I've talked to the
companies.
Rigol people. I know the Rigol guy in the U.S., and he said they got a decent number of people over there. I think he said they got like 100 engineers.
Yeah, Rigol are a reputable company. I'm talking about the rung below Rigol.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. You can't go and buy a $500 Rigol spectrum analyzer. You're going to pay $5,000.
Yeah.
So,
speaking of Rigol, that's actually on my wish list. Because I've been doing audio stuff. I need a SIGGEN, and I'd seen theirs. I had a coworker who had one of theirs before, and it was pretty slick.
Dude, you're not doing it right, okay? This is a Christmas wish list. You wish for Agilent or Tektronix, okay? You don't wish for Rigol, okay?
I am a realist.
You want an
I'm a realist here.
Yeah, right.
I don't believe in Santa Claus, guys. I mean, I believe in my own budget and my ability to get away with buying something.
Right, without the wife divorcing you.
Yep. And actually, I even that one's like $500 or so. So I started looking around online, right? And
that's pretty cheap. Yeah.
And I looked even cheaper. I wanted to see if there was like a kit I could build or something like that. I start looking around, and I find this a-hole who has this kit, and I'm like, who is this? Alternate Zone?
Alternate Zone. That idiot keeps showing up. He's all over bloody
spammer.
Google.
Ugh, it's horrible. But yeah, I found your kit, Dave.
You're about 10 years too late.
I know, right? Yeah, you don't make this anymore, right? Do you make this anymore?
No, I haven't sold that kit for 7 years at least, I think. Something like that. Well,
that's too bad.
There
goes my kit.
I've got a few kits on my wish list also.
Oh yeah.
I really, ever since it came out, I've always wanted an ice tube clock from Adafruit.
Yeah.
And so there's one of those on my wish list this year. But I'm more excited about the kits that I'm buying myself for Christmas. So based on the show notes today, I bought one of the Nixie thermometer kits that's in the show notes.
That was
saw
actually
that.
we haven't mentioned that yet.
So yeah, I saw it in the notes, and I had to buy it. So I've got one of those on the way now.
Right.
And I should mention that's mentioned by Electro Man J. That's who suggested that to us. And he was adamant about me mentioning his name on the show for some reason, and that's what he had to offer.
Maybe
and
he gets royalties.
Yeah, he did a good job. So nice job.
Yeah, the kit is awesome. So this is. Do you want me to talk about it, Chris?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
It looks pretty.
So
cool,
this is a thermometer that uses a Nixie tube style element to actually indicate the temperature. So there are these Nixie bar graph displays that have neon.
I've never seen those before.
I actually have a couple of them here in the lab, and I've never made anything practical out of them. But I had this idea to do a thermometer years ago, and I never got around to it. But the guys that are making this, which is what Dr. Nixie, I think, is the guy.
Well, that's a convenient name for what job he got into.
Dr. Nixie, he sounds evil, you know?
But the kit is awesome. It's a totally analog design. There's no microcontroller in it at all. It's got this really nice laser cut case that's around it, and RGB LEDs. And there's a video on the website of a review by Brian Stuckey of Tube Clock
right.
DB, who I've seen some of his other videos before, and I'm really excited about this. I've never seen anything like it, and it's one of the coolest uses of these bar graph displays I've ever seen.
Yep. I got a bit. How much is this thing? I want one too.
It cost me about $120 US dollars.
Yeah.
If you're in Europe, the euro conversion rate kind of screws us Americans, and the shipping too. So I think it's like 70 something euros. So
it's a German company, right?
Yeah, it's a German, and in fact, the website is mostly in German. So I had to click on like buttons that I didn't know what they said. But
Google Translate, come on,
Google
man.
Translate doesn't translate images.
Oh, buttons. You're right.
The buttons don't go over. But as soon as I saw this today, I clicked. I ordered one. So hopefully I'll have it in a couple or a few weeks.
Oh, not going to get here by Christmas.
No, there's no way. Shipping is
Germany,
it
right?
just doesn't customs is terrible. I've had a lot of dealings with customs over the past couple of months, and around Christmas time, good luck. But there's actually another thing that I'm really excited that I ordered for myself, and it's the Fun Cube. What?
I'm just thinking about your wife just like beating on you for Christmas. Just why are you buying this crap?
Hey, I bought this with my own money. You know,
there we go.
Geiger counter sales are pretty good. I can afford to do these things.
Using a kit to buy kits, right?
I actually think that's a very good model, and I was thinking about that today. People buy kits from me, and a lot of times it's people that are also making kits, and so like we all
sounds
like
kind of incestuous.
It is, but it's the best kind of thing. It's like you show me your project, I'll show you mine, right?
So you all end up not making any money at all.
Yeah, but that's okay. That's okay. I mean,
wait. What if like one of us made bread and then another of us like made shoes, and we could like trade each other? And
I think it's
maybe
great.
Live in harmony. I live in Austin.
If somebody pays me, and then I can use the money to buy a kit they're making, that's fine. Because then I get a free kit, basically. It's a trade, right?
It is a trade,
Yep.
yes.
And so anyway, okay, so I bought a Fun Cube.
Fun Cube.
This is a Fun Cube Dongle Pro.
Oh, I've heard about these.
The kit with the most ridiculous okay, so anyway, this is a software-defined radio kit that's put out by the guys at AMSAT UK, and this is, I guess, kind of ham radio related, but it's actually a little more general purpose than just ham stuff. So this is basically a radio that can tune in any frequency from, it's like 150 megahertz up to 1.3 gigahertz, something around that range. And the reason this kit exists is because there's a student satellite project that this is going to be the downlink for, and I actually don't know if the satellite has been launched yet. But they designed this really low cost, low being like $200, software-defined receiver for this satellite project, and people have been using these to do cool stuff. Because it's basically a general-purpose radio that is very agile, and as long as you can build a decoder on your PC, you can listen or watch, any kind of modulation format. So it's independent of the type of signal if you have the right software. So the coolest use I've seen for these so far is a couple people have set up antennas and have used these to look at weather satellite images coming from the satellites. So,
wow.
like, it's like you can see your house, you
Nice.
know? Like, you receive a signal
That's very
from
1980s. That
It is,
everyone was
yeah.
building receivers to tune into the weather transmitters,
It is,
you know,
but-
and you would actually get the map,
Yep,
you know.
that's
You
exactly
would-
what this is.
Yeah.
And,
So
and
is it
it's
slow scan? Is that the idea?
It's
it
a
was-
weird. It's WeFax. I think it's like a fax.
Yeah, it's
Really?
like a fax
Yeah, so
kind
it
of
is-
system,
it is
and it was
very
big in
80s.
the 80s.
Yeah.
Everyone was building a
Yeah.
fax receiver,
But now you can
weather fax.
Now you can build this with a receiver which is the size of a USB thumb drive, which is
Yeah.
really cool. It's really, really interesting, and it's not just a weather fax receiver. It can be used for anything.
Yeah, I remember
Cool.
I had seen this when Jerry did her video, when she built that software-defined radio. I remember people were talking about this one.
Yeah, it's been out
as
for
a
about a
turnkey.
year, and I'm
Yeah.
kind of a late comer to the whole thing, but I decided that it was finally time to check it out and actually see. So it should be here tomorrow, and I'll check it out and maybe have something to. I'll have to write up a blog post about it. I'm really looking forward to just scanning around and seeing what's out there. It's like the ultimate scanner, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Speaking of kits, I just finished laying out the board for my latest power supply kit, and it's through-hole. I haven't
Really?
done a through-hole board for ages. And it was just novel, you know?
Jeff, take it easy, man. It's just he's like laughing uncontrollably, Dave.
Why?
I just think it's funny. Yeah, it's it's
Why is it funny?
2008.
Through hole is not dead. Through hole is it's okay.
Because a surface mount, right? Surface mount kits are a pain in the ass. You know, if you've got to cut off each little resistor from the strip, and then they're not labelled, and then the capacitors aren't labelled, and you know, it's
Well, it is going to be a
pain in
kit,
the
right?
arse.
If it's a kit, I think
This will be a
it makes
kit,
a lot of
yeah.
it makes a lot of sense. But
Yeah, so I decided to make a through hole. Unfortunately, there's 3 surface mount parts on there,
Oh,
so just couldn't make it 100% through hole. But surely you can solder an SO8, right, and a single SOT23. I'll make the pads nice and big, and you know.
Yeah.
So hopefully that won't kill it. But
You can
apart
call
from
that
that,
the
it's all
challenge
through
section.
hole. And you're right. Yeah. And yeah, because everything I've been doing is surface mount for many years now. So I haven't done it. It was just novel to lay out a through hole board again.
yeah,
It
it's
was neat. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
drill.
And you'll be able to see some video of that. I did actually capture it, so I've got like a time lapse of me actually laying out the board.
oh, cool.
So I'll add some commentary overlay to that and upload that.
This is
look
where
like-
I routed that trace, and then I routed that other trace.
That's right. You would be surprised at the amount of people who've asked me for exactly that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. People want this stuff. You know? People want to see me
They can
laying
lay
out
out
a board.
vicariously through you.
Like to watch it.
Anyway, I do plan on
10x
doing a
speed.
whole video series of PCB layout, so yeah.
It can be like the fireplace video for the holidays. We can have the PCB layout video playing in the background.
Yep. Oh man.
You guys may laugh, but you'd be surprised at the number of people who are after that sort of stuff.
I don't doubt it.
I mean, yeah, you're
that's
right.
cool.
There's only so many resources out there for actual board layout. If you're not going to like sit down and talk to an engineer, so I understand that, but it's just not the most enthralling thing ever. It'll be a challenge for you to make that exciting. I'll say that.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, I'll have a go.
Yeah. Well, the last kit not even a kit. One of my last Christmas thing I had on the list at least was one of my friends. One of my former coworkers. He did one of the sync lights. It's called sync lights, but it was a thing where like you control your lights outside, and he actually did a DIY solution. So I thought it was pretty cool. But the coolest thing about it is that it's controllable by text message now. So like the actual he's got the FM transmitter and everything. But now you can drive up to his house and like punch in which song you want to hear.
Oh, cool.
And,
Right, yep.
Yeah, so there's some cool
Very
videos
nice.
on there. So I'll link that in too. But that's the last Christmas thing I had. I don't know. Or holiday thing or whatever.
I got my... Oh, no, we talked about that last week.
Which
I got
one?
my arcade machine.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Well, I haven't actually got it yet.
Yeah. Actually, there was one more thing. Sorry. Because John DeCristofaro, he did... did you guys see his XY thing on his,
I
on
did.
his scope?
Yeah, it's cool.
No?
He,
What's this?
He did a voltage output from a microcontroller. So, and then he programmed those to go into the XY of an old tech
that's
scope.
common. Yeah.
And then he drew out like a Christmas tree on the scope, basically.
Right, yep.
So I thought that was cool too.
Sweet.
Yeah, man. Happy holidays.
What else have we got on today's show? Hey, our mate Jeremy.
Yeah.
Our mate Jeremy Blum. Hey, Jeremy. Because he does listen, I'm sure. He's been named the new face of college engineering.
Yeah.
By the IEEE, is it? Is that the...
It's IEEE. It's for E-Week. I don't know. We didn't really talk about E-Week last week.
What is
last
E-Week?
year. At least in the U.S., it's like kind of like a week for recognizing engineering, kind of like engineering outreach and trying to, have better visibility.
Is this all types of engineering, or?
Yeah. So, I was part of it through my school after I left the school, but I think a lot of colleges participate, but I really haven't seen much outside of schools in terms of participation for it. So hopefully that will ramp up eventually, but I don't know. But they're among all the different engineering disciplines. They were naming new faces, and Jeremy was the choice for IEEE, and I think they've made a great choice. He's awesome.
Yeah.
So what does he get for this?
He just gets his
His
name
face.
plastered somewhere for a month or something. I don't know. I'm sure there's no
There's probably a
actual
plaque in there
monetary
somewhere, right?
reward involved,
it's a press release.
Fortune and glory, kid.
Yeah.
Maybe just the glory.
Yeah.
For those people who read the IEEE, I guess. All right. There's some news, which I tweeted this week. You might like this, Jeff, although you probably never heard of it. The Micro B kit computer, speaking of kits, is back. It's back from the 1980s.
I had never heard of this. I looked at the link
No,
today.
of course.
But
It's an Australian computer. It's a famous
okay.
Australian computer which came out in about 82,
Okay.
I think, 1982.
Wow.
Actually designed and built here, and it got into the schools here. Every school in Australia
wow.
was using these Micro B computers.
So did they
And,
have the flat panel monitors back then, like they're showing on the site?
Oh, dear. Where's the flat panel? Oh, yes, they do have the flat panel one. Yeah, you're right. Okay. Granted, that's a bit of the blend of the old and the new.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, where's the old amber CRT display? Because they were
now
amber back then.
It says they've added a cold fire processor, which also allows them to run
Yeah,
micro C
I'm-
Linux. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I think that was a mistake. But anyway, the guy revived the company, basically, and he bought the rights to, to the Micro B stuff, and as part of that, he got a whole bunch of original cases and original PCBs with it. So actually, just on 100 of them. So he's going to do 100 kits, and he'll easily sell them because there's lots of Micro B aficionados out there. So
So this is
it's very cool.
the Z80. Remind me, is that like
Z80?
Z8? Whoa, sorry.
Yeah.
Get it right, man. This is a technical
This
show.
is like the 6502 kind of era. Is that the same? That's the same era, correct? I
Yep.
never got into the old
The
micros.
Z80 and the 6502 were the two competing processors at the time. The Z80 went into the CPM systems. The 6502 went into the Apple and some other ones. So I'm sure computer buffs out there will know all about that.
All right.
And it worked at a screeching 3.3 megahertz. That was the upgraded one. The first one, I think, was 1.8 megahertz, the original. And it was a kit. This Micro B, it started out on 1982 or whatever on the front cover. Actually, I used to have the magazine, and I sold it on eBay. Guess how much I sold it for? One copy of one 1980s computer magazine.
$100.
Yeah, it was over $100
Oh, really?
for one copy because it had the Micro B on the front cover. That was when it was released.
Really? So this is like
yeah,
really
yeah.
collector crap, huh?
This is really collector shit. Yeah, there's people out there who pay for this stuff, and somebody paid over $100 for this ratty old one copy of this magazine that I had.
2
and,
megabytes of RAM, man.
And I've still got 2 meg. That's the
upgraded.
That's the upgraded
Oh
version.
yeah.
That's the new modern design.
Yeah.
No, the old one only had 16K. So you bought this kit. It was actually first released as a kit. You couldn't buy it built up. And And it was $399.
Back when IT were IT men and they soldered stuff together.
Right.
And
That's right.
Oh, that's really cool.
When the term IT wasn't even coined.
Yeah, right.
Thankfully, back then.
They were just the weirdo in the back who put your computers together for you and you hoped they were around.
Nerds.
They were almost all electronic nerds. There were. I wonder when just computer nerds actually started, where they didn't care about the electronics. Probably early to mid 80s, perhaps.
No, I think I've read that book, Hackers, by Stephen Levy.
Stephen Levy.
Yeah, I think those guys were around in the 60s. For sure.
60s even?
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. They were programming mainframes because these guys, they would sit at the computer terminals and they didn't necessarily have to know anything about electronics. They were just coders.
Very true.
So
they just wanted to optimize
I'm talking more
algorithms.
of the... okay, right. No, I'm talking out my ass. I was going to say I'm talking about the home computer kind of thing. You know?
Well, I mean, the guys that... you're right. It probably...
But most of them were probably engineering students, weren't they, though?
Yeah.
Because that's where a lot of these mainframes were used at the universities, were typically in the engineering, physics type areas.
Yeah, I don't know when computer science became its own thing. I'm not sure what year,
Yeah, it would have been the 60s. It would have been certainly early 60s, I think.
Yeah.
Sort of computer science, I guess, came into being, would be my... recollection.
But engineering was first. We have to remember that.
Right.
And then the physicists will say, well, physics was first. And electrical engineering, I'm sure, came out of physics.
The chicken came first.
Yeah. Which one was first?
Oh, boy. Yeah. Anyway, this is very cool. He's actually bought back the kit, and you can buy it as a kit, and you can build it up. At the original price, $399. So,
probably not the same weight in terms of... It's not the inflation adjusted dollars, is it?
Well, it's obviously totally ignoring inflation because it's
that's what I mean,
$399.
Right. So back then that was a really big deal. And
it is a hybrid kit. The extra add-on board, which this guy's designed with the coal fire processor and all the extra couple of megabytes of memory and all that sort of jazz, Ethernet and all that sort of wanky stuff. Then that actually comes assembled. That comes fully assembled because it's got surface mount, flat pack packages and that sort of thing. But the main board itself is the original board from the original stock with all the through-hole components, and you can assemble it. That'd be so much fun. I'd love to, but I wouldn't pay $399 for one. But I'm sure he'll sell all 100. So
yeah.
I think it's funny whenever they have, all the little support stuff, like the extra processor with the Ethernet. And I think it's because as users of modern computers, whenever we go back to use computers from the 80s, you realize that they weren't very good.
Oh, no, it was pointless. You can't do anything with it.
How do I get on the internet again?
Exactly. How can I get on the internet?
No. You can't. You can type in a basic program and save it to cassette tape. And schools used to have these microbees networked because the big thing with the microbee was that you could network them all together, and that started off originally where you could have one tape machine, and so the teacher would actually insert the tape, press play, and then all the students had to hit load at the same time on all the different machines so it could load from the one tape.
Wow!
Johnny was staring out the window. We have to start over.
Oh, fun times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway.
There was actually, speaking of old chips, there was, you guys see the Google Doodle today? If you go to the Google homepage, there's a picture of a
Noyce.
4040 maybe, I think it was, or 8080. Or my chip my chip knowledge is not very good. But anyways, celebrating Robert Noyce's, what would have been his 84th birthday, but he passed away 10 years ago, I believe. Or no, many more years ago, in 1990. So, and he was the guy that co-founded Fairchild and Intel. So if people don't know that, obviously,
wow,
important dude. And he went to school.
He was one of the
Ohio.
infamous 7, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he was.
What,
the
who left
infamous
Fairchild?
7 who left and formed, who broke away and formed. And those 7 apparently spawned the entire semiconductor industry as we know it.
Right.
Right. So,
Quite
I
incestuous.
think, what do they call them? The famous 7 or the notorious 7 or something like that? Or have to
A
check
grumble of
that.
7. That's what it is, Dave.
Right. Anyway, very cool. Do we have a last news item? Time for a last news item?
We have another
Problem?
day in nerd history. No? You don't like those? I like them.
Well, I thought that was it. Noise.
No, well, that was
Robert
one.
Noyce.
The other one was today was the first
Can't
day.
have two.
And
It's gonna be
we've had
greedy.
2 before. In 1901, it was the first transatlantic radio transmission. So, Jeff might like this.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's kind of a big deal, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Newfoundland to England.
Wow. Marconi.
Yeah.
I used to work at GC Marconi.
Oh, yeah?
There you go. Yep.
They
Just
probably
thought
did
I'd
that
share
with
that.
Spark Gap, right? That's how they used to do that, those kind of transmissions?
Yeah. They used to use huge antennas, like, mile-long wire and really, really primitive equipment.
Really big sparks, right? Well, we have
Anyway, Design Spark have a new contest.
They
well,
do.
through Circuit Seller. It's through a... Anyway, let's talk. It's a chip kit, the microchip PIC 32 Arduino clone thing.
Yeah.
And they're trying to suck you into the Design Spark funnel. I think as part of the entry requirements, you have to design a PCB using Design Spark PCB software.
I didn't see
Or
that.
something like that.
Yeah.
Because, nobody's using Design Spark because Eagle dominating the market and Design Spark concept is floundering apparently. So I guess they have to... anyway, they're giving away 1,000 free chip kits and there's 10 grand in prizes and all that sort of
It's
stuff.
not bad. It's
Yeah,
kind of...
but they're sucking you into the funnel, and it's an energy efficiency challenge. So it's all about if you've got an energy efficient design, you'll
Right.
win or something
Right.
apparently. So
Can't imagine
There
an
you go.
Arduino clone
Anyway.
is very efficient itself, but
yeah.
oh well.
Anyway, we're not really fans of being sucked into the funnel, are we?
No, not
Really,
really.
Chris? No.
No.
It's a bit rude.
Yeah. Well, one last
But
point about
hey,
the...
it's if you want to join their game, you've got to play by their rules. So, there you go. There it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. So we do have one last thing, but this is more about the show. It's kind of a new thing for us.
Let's end selfishly.
Yes, why not? And speaking of things that people are fans of, so we've kind of we put a little button on our page. So we put a donation button on the Amp Hour page, and there's a nice long explanation alongside it. But basically, if you're a fan of the show and you want to donate, it goes neither to Dave nor my bank account, but goes towards
Who the hell gets it?
the Amp Hour gets it, and the fans get it back in terms of faster servers and contests and whatever else we can figure out to use it for. But yeah, it's
So it's a pool.
yeah.
It's a pool of cash.
Jeff has
We can-
offered to donate his kit money for the next 4 years. He's not going to buy another kit for the next 4 years, right, Jeff? Did we lose Jeff? He signed
Oh.
off. He was so pissed at us. He signed off, and
He is. He's gone.
He's
Thank
gone.
you very much, Jeff. Nice knowing you.
Jeff Kaiser has left the building.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Well, maybe we'll get him back here. He might have lost the network. Hopefully, Texas is still on the map somewhere.
Right. And hasn't been nuked.
Yeah, Jeff's spark gap was lost in voltage, right?
Right.
But yeah,
Oh,
that's our thing. We're gonna try it out. If you're interested in donating, it's something new. You're not obligated to. It's we've got donation amounts from $1 up to $10 a month, $1 a month to $10 a month, or one-time donations, and you can cancel whenever you want to. We kind of got the idea from how Leo Laporte does it. If you like the show, you can donate. If you start to not like where the show's going, you can yank that right back, and we'll notice it. So, yeah. Anything else to add, Dave? I mean, I don't know.
No, I haven't. I don't know. This was your idea. I haven't really thought about it.
All right.
Anyway, no,
donate to Chris
we
and
do,
Dave
because-
because Chris said so.
No, because the server, for example, like our shared server craps itself every time we upload a new episode almost,
Yeah.
and at the moment I'm putting the episodes on my EEV blog, server,
right.
which is probably not where, and that'll eventually slow down the EEV blog server as well. And I actually rely on that for keeping the forum fast. So we'd, ultimately like to get our own dedicated server or a VPS or whatever.
Yeah.
But those things cost, $50, $100 a month or something like that. So they're not cheap. So
Right.
Or actually, that's for a VPS. If you want a dedicated server, then it's a fair chunk of cash. It's a few $100 a month.
It is on our wish list, regardless, right?
Yes, for Christmas, and neither of us want to fork out the cash, do we?
Well, it's I'll throw in
So
some.
we're
I mean,
limping by at the
but
moment.
if people are willing to help, we'd love to help, and we'd love to be able to make things much better for all our listeners, and that's kind of the main thrust behind it. So,
Yep.
That's our news. So check out the donate button up above, and if you're so inclined, feel free to give.
This Christmas.
Yes, in a charitable mood.
Yes.
And
And happy holidays for all those people who don't like the word Christmas.
oh yeah, sorry.
Yep.
Holiday wish lists.
I'm not that anal.
I don't. Yeah.
I believe in Santa.
I believe in Dave. I believe in EEV blog. He does exist. He's loud.
You've never met me. How do you know?
That's true. Oh my God, my mind is
I could
blown.
be a figment of your imagination.
You could just be some extremely advanced Australian talking algorithm, right?
I could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take a bit
Or
of
I could be-
unintelligible, add a bunch of pissed, and just a touch of test equipment, and you've got Dave.
Oh boy. Anyway.
All right. Well, thanks to Jeff, even though he had to bounce apparently.
Yeah.
You
He just vanished.
Yeah, you can
magically.
find him at Mighty Ohm on Twitter. You can find Dave at EEV blog, or you can find me at Chris_Gamble. And there's lots of other ways to find us too. So, all right, man.
Thank you very much, and we'll catch you next week.
All right, bye.
We'll have another show before Christmas, won't we? It's not Christmas. What's today's date? The 13th here?
Yeah. We'll have
okay.
2 more shows, I think. No.
Oh, okay.
One
One?
more show. Yeah.
Where's
One more
my
show.
calendar?
Yep.
Yeah,
It doesn't
one
matter.
more
You don't
show.
have a job anyways. Come on, Dave.
Oh, come on. Don't have a job. I just spent a shitload of money on my on my non-existent job,
Yep.
and I get the keys today. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Just waiting for the phone call.
Well, good luck today.
Thank you. I handed over the checks yesterday. That was painful.
Yeah.
But you got to spend money to make money, right? That's what they say.
That's right.
You're right. Or you got to spend money to go bankrupt.
That's the other option.
Either way, it's going to be fun. See ya.
See ya.
Guys? I'm here. I'm all alone. They left me.